This is High Vibe TV, the uncensored, guided, and community-based video TV network with content recorded and live streamed from the world-famous High Vibe TV studios. High Vibe TV delivers daily, weekly, and special programs focused on astrology, spirituality, history, community, and more. This is not your run-of-the-mill astrology and tarot. This is the future of spirituality, illuminating new ways the collective can step into the dawning of this exciting new dimension. The highest vibe is truth, and the truth always prevails. Download our awesome app on the Apple and Android stores so you don't miss our notifications, with special spiritual insights curated to the energy of the universe. Search for us on your TV with our exciting TV apps on Apple TV and Roku. Catch our vibe on your computer, where you can join in on the live chat with our amazing community and blog. Watch spirituality like you've never seen before. Download our apps or go to highvibe.tv. Subscribe now.
Destiny's playing itself out in many ways. And like I've been teaching in my Pluto class, since Pluto's at the last degree of Capricorn here, it's not like Pluto plays fair to everybody. It doesn't. The only fair game that Pluto plays is that we all die. That's it. You know, and so whatever has to be dealt with that is going to have to be put in its proper space by the divine has already begun, is being enacted, and by the time we get to Tuesday when we see this Mars finally getting to 25 degrees, but it's going to be squaring Neptune and it's going to be squaring the sun, while the moon in Sag is going to be opposing Mars, squaring it and creating this massive T-square to the sun and Neptune conjunction, and even Mercury that's close by. And so this puts everything into a real big tizzy, because it almost feels like, if you were to think of that scene, everybody seems pretty happy and calm. But if you were to realize this scene is happening in Aries, it would be more like we're losing a great warrior. And at the same time, it wouldn't be so still in the moment here with the chaos of the sun and Neptune and things with now Saturn helping karmically bye-bye to things that are not in alignment that you might not even be aware of. You know, I also want to remind people that the last time that Jupiter was here was, of course, in 2011. And those were the times when Uranus had ingressed in. And that was the time also when Saturn ingressed into Libra. So this Jupiter Aries likes to bring up these new ingress points. Now, it's kind of weird because back then, it was Uranus and Aries and Jupiter, but there was Saturn and Libra. So there was things about relationships that were very odd and weird, and even more about learning about the masculine energies and how it had to be found in anything that became too masculine, whether it was a man or a woman or whatever. With Saturn and Libra, it was getting its ass checked. But this time, it's not going to even do a check. It's just going to throw whatever it is. So this isn't to scare people, but this is just to remind you, you know, that every place and every corner you have to look at is going, is this really my spiritual truth? Am I running my ego too much? We have to remember that, and I'll show you in the charts, that every morning as the sun rises, it is a loaded 12th house with the 12th house Pisces ruling ascendant. Neptune also reaches 25 degrees this week, where Neptune stationed retrograde. So we are now about to go farther in Neptune's realm, Pisces. We now have more Pisces and more intense aspects in Pisces than we've ever seen in our life. And you add Jupiter and Chiron in the middle of it all. And then at the same time, you have the Mars and Neptune square, which, got to be real, we've all been sitting here waiting as astrologers or people who love astrology going, what the fuck is about to pop? Because Nord Stream 1 and 2 was the first one. What happened? The bomb that went into Poland that we all thought, or we were told that it was Russia when it was really Ukraine, even though it was Ukraine saying it was Russia. And now we're about to see what all that meant. But you have to look in your own life. There's things that are very private, that are very hard to deal with. Whenever you're dealing with Pluto and Capricorn, it's best to always feel that, you got to keep a guard up on things, It's not like, you want your reputation to be blown to pieces. Well, this is one of those times where you're not going to be able to hide anything anymore with Saturn and Pisces. And so anything that you felt has been off and not spiritually aligned for you, it's going to begin its mark this week of especially a big sacrifice that will be made, where it might feel like, especially in your ego, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't how I wanted it to look. This isn't how it's supposed to look. My hope, my dreams were supposed to go this direction. It was supposed to look this way. It ain't going to happen that way. There's another, which, of course, if you're in the Pluto Masterclass, it's fate. The one thing that destroys free will is fate. And even the understanding of Jupiter and Chiron. Chiron can't even change his horrible situation unless Jupiter comes there. So we have to look at the positive as, well, the horrible situation is going to get better, but people don't realize that Chiron actually in that moment was not really concerned about it as much. He was willing to accept the wound as it was. Chiron is always the weird one that you're just like, you would really just keep accepting it? Because he didn't even realize subconsciously that it would turn him to be a great guide to teach all the gods later on and be their guide. So in many ways, you don't even see that the key to unlock the door to who you really are and what's really spiritually good for you, you haven't looked inside that door. You haven't been given the key yet. Subconsciously, you haven't been wanting to open the door because you're afraid of what will happen. You're afraid of your reputation. You're afraid of what could be there. And it also might not even be that bad. So we're all about to open a door that we have no idea what's on the other side. It could be good, it could be bad. We might have to sacrifice in a way we don't want to and go and deal with situations that we don't want to in a certain way. It's all about to blow up in our face like a hand grenade. Mars in Gemini, out of bounds. Moon, Sag, out of bounds. Sun, Neptune, starting to conjunct. Mercury, all in this huge T-square while this is all happening, and Jupiter's just going to be finishing its conjunction with Chiron and leaving, and Venus is going to begin its square to Pluto. It's all about to blow up. It's all about to be revealed. And there's nothing to be scared about it. But to remember that this is a week to where this isn't about your ego's wants and needs and how it's going to be. This is where divinity and the older, the wise and the true old keeper of time, Kronos Father, works with destiny. And we all come out of the void. That's where we come from, the void. And we're going to be feeling the void more than ever, that it's ethereal in understanding. It's hard to see physically, yet this is where you navigate through having to see in an essence, a visual essence about things, a visualization that you're able to see. Are those memories or are those events that are my dreams guiding me? Or is this my intuition or is this my daydreams? No, a lot of this is just the simplicity of understanding how to be able to navigate while knowing how to touch and feel what is in alignment and what is not. Erasing your ego's desires completely. No longer is it about the world. No longer is it about how well you know how to fix the complicated issues. It's now literally about whether or not you truly spiritually have your gauge and understanding. And this is going to be the biggest spiritual test of our life. It's going to feel like I don't want to have to go through this, because Pisces is a very isolated sign, more than Aquarius. At least Aquarius still deals with the people and at least is known for, well, Uranus was outcast and his son did this, and there's story. But when you get to Poseidon, he's alone in that ocean. He's always seeking beautiful women. He's always seeking all these things and never gets to stay. And the oceans are very isolated, deep, and alone, quiet, and sometimes have sounds that could be terrifying. of a great white shark, but it could also be a blue whale. You never know. It's one of those moments that's going to be the beginning in this 2 weeks here, before Pluto even clicks into Aquarius to even activate a new dispositor. But as Pluto is in Capricorn still, it's still having Saturn its dispositor, and that's with Neptune, and it's making it even more crazy. Add all the mutable T-square energies and the Mars, finally ready to move out of its shadow as we come next week. But it's leaving with a bang, and it's not leaving simple. And again, this isn't going to be where I can fix the problem. The moon in Libra this week, the moon in Scorpio, and finishing in Sag, going down into the underworld. You know, being with the South Node, in opposition to all this Taurus, in opposition also at the same time too, while it's in Libra, to all this Aries and this Jupiter story. Just like the same time we had Jupiter in Aries and Saturn was in Libra in the opposition. Now that Jupiter and Saturn, of course, have already met and we're seeing them now be separated, we're in a really auspicious time because we still haven't seen Jupiter and Saturn sextile yet. And so Saturn and Jupiter now are in a semi-square. They're 45 degrees apart, and they just happen to do it with Chiron. So Saturn in Pisces and Pluto being in Capricorn, having that as the dispositor, is saying, holy shit, let's all watch this show. And that show is the sacrifice that only Jupiter and only the wisdom, or wherever degrees it's at in your chart, will be the sacrifice of your life. It's not going to be, I don't want to say pretty, right? But it's not going to be what you exactly want. We all are going to have to find a way to take the hand of Prometheus and know that that handshake is more than a handshake, but pulling us up out of the issue, and but also taking us to a place that is alone and not the same place that we wanted to go to. So it's remembering that no matter what happens, to not freak out, to remember not to always think that you know. It's about waiting until it really happens. Or if you already know and it's causing problems in your life, the best way to gauge it is your overall happiness, your freedom of expression, your ability to spiritually do what you can do without any outside energy taking that away from you or making you feel bad or making you feel guilty. This is Pisces, right? We could deal with massive, deep subconscious guilt, massive, deep subconscious not even seeing that we're trapped. And so the sacrifice is the ego that trapped itself. Especially with Mars, that will come into the craziest aspect I've ever seen in astrology for Mars. Out of bounds. In all this mutable energy with all this Pisces and all this 12th house. You know, when you think you know, you don't know, right? You know what I mean?
This is High Vibe TV, the uncensored, guided, and community-based video TV network with content recorded and live streamed from the world-famous High Vibe TV studios. High Vibe TV delivers daily, weekly, and special programs focused on astrology, spirituality, history, community, and more. This is not your run-of-the-mill astrology and tarot. This is the future of spirituality, illuminating new ways the collective can step into the dawning of this exciting new dimension. The highest vibe is truth, and the truth always prevails. Download our awesome app on the Apple and Android stores so you don't miss our notifications, with special spiritual insights curated to the energy of the universe. Search for us on your TV with our exciting TV apps on Apple TV and Roku. Catch our vibe on your computer, where you can join in on the live chat with our amazing community and blog. Watch spirituality like you've never seen before. Download our apps or go to highvibe.tv. Subscribe now.